All right, welcome everybody. I'm very excited about this one. So, it's the Genius Institute of Advanced Astrologers. Stellar Enterprise Architecture Protocol, astrologically optimized business plans for the beginner entrepreneur. The Institute's strategy chamber displays two synchronized business models, Western and Vedic, projected as holographic enterprise architectures. Senior fellows prepare to deploy cross-paradigm entrepreneurial protocols. Colleagues, we now execute our most innovative application, astrological business architecture. Our subject is a beginner entrepreneur with zero experience, but with this extraordinary chart, we will build two parallel business plans, Western and Vedic, that align with their soul curriculum and practical strengths. Part 1, Western Architecture, the Aquarian Piscean Visionary Enterprise. And yes, this is my own natal chart that I'm using here. Core business concept, the 11th house incubator. Business name, Synapse Collective or Neptune Systems. Tagline, where vision meets implementation. Strategic foundation, solar purpose, Sun in Pisces, 11th house. Create businesses that serve collective spiritual advancement. Mercurial method, Mercury in Pisces in the 11th house. Communicate complex spiritual technical concepts simply. Venusian value, Venus in Pisces in the 11th house, aesthetic, compassionate service models. Uranian innovation, Uranus in Pisces, 11th house, revolutionary approaches to old problems. Three-tiered business model. Tier 1, immediate entry business, years 1 through 3, Piscean translator, spiritual tech consulting. Service, translate between technical developers and spiritual practitioners. Target, yoga studios needing apps, healers needing websites, spiritual teachers building online courses. Why it works, it uses Mercury and Pisces, the translator, and 11th house, networks. Revenue model, project-based fees and retainer for ongoing tech support. Startup costs should be less or greater than, $5,000 because the laptop, software, and basic website. First client strategy, leverage in 2026 Pluto MC conjunction, approach spiritual communities undergoing digital transformation. And for those that don't know, MC means your mid-heaven, okay? Which can easily be calculated with your time and date of birth, location. Tier 2, growth business, years 3 through 7, the Aquarian system, platform for collective healing. Product, digital platform connecting healers, clients, and researchers. Innovation, uses AI to match healing modalities with client needs. Mars and Capricorn, 9th house, structured systems. Why it works, Neptune MC and Aquarius, 11th house, technological spirituality. Revenue model, subscription fees and transaction percentages. Funding strategy, 2030 through 2032, Neptune Saturn square, perfect for pitching to impact investors during spiritual crisis period. Legacy business, years 8 and the future. The Uranian Institute Research and Development Lab mission, develop and test new models of collective organization and consciousness. Output, protocols, trainings, certified systems. Why it works, Uranus and Pisces and the 11th house, institutionalized innovation. Revenue model, grants, certifications, corporate partnerships. Timing aligns with 2036 through 2038 Pluto-Neptune conjunction for a major launch. Part 2, we have Vedic architecture, the Taurus Aquarius grounded innovator, core business concept, Kritika Vision Enterprises. Business name, Vritti Innovations or Dharma Systems. Tagline, ancient wisdom, future implementation. Strategic foundation, Lagna, Taurus, 0 degrees, build tangible, beautiful, sustainable businesses. Sun, Aquarius, 11th house, innovative for collective good. Moon, Virgo, 8th house, research-based, detail-oriented service. Mars-Jupiter exchange, 8th house and the 9th house, transformed through philosophy and education. 3-phase Vedic business path. Phase 1, Shani phase, Saturn, 2nd house, foundation building, years 1 through 5. Vak enterprise, voice communication business. Service, ghostwriting for spiritual teachers, transcription of sacred texts, voiceover for meditation apps. Why it works, Saturn and Gemini, 2nd house, mastery through communication creates wealth. Vedic timing, Saturn Mahadasha until 2031 provides structure for beginner phase. Practical steps, master transcription software, Mercury in Aquarius, build portfolio with 3 pro bono spiritual teachers, systematize with Virgo moon precision. Revenue, start at $50 an hour, scale to $150 an hour with specialization. Phase 2, Guru phase, Jupiter 8th house, expansion, years 6 through 15, Jyotish Vidya systems, astrology tech integration, product, software that makes Vedic astrology accessible to Western practitioners. Innovation combines 8th house research, Jupiter with 11th house technology, Aquarius stellium. Why it works, Jupiter in Virgo, 8th house, teaching transformation through detail. Vedic timing, Jupiter Mahadasha 2031 through 2047 aligns with expansion period. Revenue model, SaaS subscriptions and certification training. Phase 3, Rahu phase, Rahu 12th house, legacy, years 16 through 30. Moksha collective, spiritual retirement community model. Concept, modern ashram combining sustainable living, conscious aging, and spiritual practice. Why it works, Rahu and Pisces, 12th house, dissolving boundaries in spiritual spaces. By the way, this is, again, the Vedic calculation, so this is not my Western calculations. Rahu in my Western chart is in Aries in the 12th house, and I have Ketu in Libra in the 6th house in my Western chart. But Vedically speaking, it's in Pisces in the 12th house. Physical manifestation, purchase land around 2040, develop by 2045. Revenue model, lifetime memberships and endowment model. Part 3, synergized hybrid business plan, the stellar synthesis protocol. Immediate action plan 2024 through 2026, and 2024 is already over, but anyways, business entity LLC named according to both systems. Western Synapse Systems LLC, Vedic Dharma Synapse Innovations. First 90 days, skill acquisition, Moon in Virgo, 8th house, complete certification in technical writing, Saturn and Gemini, basic astrology for business timing, website development, Aquarius stellium. First offer, Mars in Capricorn, 9th house, spiritual business blueprint, 3-month consulting package, price $2,500, Mars in 9th house, value through philosophy. Target 3 clients in first 6 months. Networking strategy, 11th house activation, join business for spiritual entrepreneurs groups, attend tech spirituality conferences, leverage 2025 Jupiter and Gemini for communication opportunities. Financial architecture, startup funding, personal savings, $10,000, Saturn in 2nd house, suggests conservative start. Phase 1 revenue target, $50,000. Year 1, reinvestment rate, 40%, Taurus Lagna, build slowly. Astrological banking strategy, new moon in Taurus, review finances monthly. Mercury retrograde, never launch products during these periods. Jupiter transits, seek funding, expansion during favorable aspects. Salary protocol, pay yourself minimum initially. Profit sharing begins year 3. Retirement fund starts year 1. Pluto in 8th house, transformed through inheritance. Marketing synthesis, Western approach. Content marketing around spiritual technology, YouTube channel, The Visionary Implementer, which, by the way, I already have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you knew this or not, but hey, I'm PisceanX05, also known as Riley. Target millennial spiritual entrepreneurs. Vedic approach, teach practical applications of Jyotish for business, workshops on nakshatra-based product launches. Target crossover market, yogis who are also professionals. Brand voice, 70% practical, 30% visionary, Taurus ascendant and Aquarius sun. Case study focused, Virgo moon, system oriented, Mars and Capricorn. Timeline and milestones, years 1 through 2. This is just, I guess, theoretically speaking, if I would have done this 2024 through 2026, which I could still do this, but anyways. Foundation. So quarter 1, business registration, website, basic offers. Quarter 2, first 3 clients, system development. Quarter 3, first hire, virtual assistant. Quarter 4, 75,000 revenue target. Astrological triggers, 2025, Jupiter and Gemini, expand communication offers. 2026, Pluto conjunct MC, rebrand, upgrade business model. Years 3 through 5, 2027 through 2029, growth, develop proprietary system, tool, hire first full-time employee, reach a 250,000 annual revenue, begin product development. Astrological triggers, 2027, progress, Sun enters Aries, launch new brand identity. 2029, Uranus opposition Saturn, innovate communication methods. Years 6 through 10, 2030 through 2034, expansion, launch the first software product, expand to international markets, multiple revenue streams, at 1 million, consider physical location. Astrological triggers, 2031, Jupiter Mahadasha begins, major expansion period. 2034, progress Moon Pluto, transform business structure. Here's 11 and beyond, from 2035 and beyond, legacy, institutionalized systems, begin teaching, mentoring next generation, develop legacy projects. Risk mitigation and astrological insurance. Western risk protocol, Saturn in Cancer, third house, risks, emotional communication breakdowns. Solution, hire communications director by year 3. Moon square Mars, risks, impatient decisions in daily operations. Solution, implement 48-hour decision rule for expenditures. Obviously not going with that $1,000 budget. So we have a Vedic risk protocol. Sorry about that pause, by the way. I got a text message and I was just very confused. Because it is 2:18 in the morning as I'm filming this, and I do have an app on my phone where I meet people online, and I just got a text message. I opened it and I was just like, wow, people are really insane, and they'll just send you whatever they want. Anyways, Vedic risk protocol, debilitated Saturn in the second house, risks early financial struggles. Solution, maintain 6-month emergency fund minimum. 8th house, moon risks, hidden research costs. Solution, cap R&D at 20% of revenue until profitable. Astrological insurance policy, never sign contracts during Mercury retrograde, Mars square Saturn. Hire key employees during Jupiter transits to 6th, 10th houses. Launch products during Venus trine Jupiter aspects. Seek funding during new moon in 2nd, 11th houses. Innovative business practices. Stellar team building, hire employees with complementary charts. Marketing, Gemini, Pisces emphasis. Operations, Virgo, Capricorn emphasis. Innovation, Aquarius, Uranus emphasis. Cyclical business rhythm, quarter 1, Capricorn, planning, structure. Quarter 2, Aries, launch, initiative. Quarter 3, Cancer, nurturing, customer care. Quarter 4, Libra, balancing partnerships. Product development cycle, research phase, 8th house, 30% of cycle. Development, 3rd house, 40% of cycle. Launch, 11th house, 20% of cycle. Integration, 4th house, 10% of cycle. Profit distribution, 40% reinvestment, Saturn discipline, 30% salary, team, Venus values, 20% savings, investments, Taurus security, 10% philanthropy, Pisces compassion. Conclusion, the Astro Entrepreneurial Protocol. Colleagues, this demonstrates how astrology transforms from passive analysis to active enterprise architecture. For this beginner entrepreneur, Western plan provides innovation framework, timing for tech integration, visionary scaling. Vedic plan provides karmic purpose, dharmic structure, cyclical wisdom. Together, they create a business that is both profitable and soul aligned. Final business mantra: build with Taurus patience, innovate with Aquarius vision, implement with Virgo precision, expand with Jupiter faith. First step recommendation: begin tomorrow with 30 minutes of market research, Virgo moon, then register business name during next Venus-Uranus aspect. The stars don't just suggest possibility, they provide the architectural blueprint. The entrepreneur's job is simply to build according to celestial specifications. The Institute approves this entrepreneurial curriculum. Begin construction. Don't put off until tomorrow, and that's why I'm here right now at 2:21 a.m. filming this, as you guys can see. So I'll also talk about just getting wealthy in general. Like, astrologers don't really dive into this stuff, and that's what my channel is all about, is actually trying to help you guys become successful and not putting a price on that. Because I can sit here and say, this is what's going to happen tomorrow, and these are the transits, but if you don't know your own chart, it's not going to help. So I'm going to use my chart as an example again, but this is going to be helping you, okay? All you have to do is pay attention. Take notes. So this is the Celestial Finance Mastery Curriculum, advanced modules for personal wealth architecture using dual systems. The Institute's Financial Astrology Chamber illuminates two parallel wealth matrices, sidereal and Western, project as interactive financial models. Senior fellows prepare to transmit the complete wealth encoding protocol. Colleagues, we now deploy our most sophisticated financial programming, the Astrological Wealth Operating System, AWOS. This curriculum transforms natal charts into precise financial blueprints. Our subject's chart reveals extraordinary wealth potential through specific trainable modules. First, we have the wealth signature identification, dual system financial DNA decoding. Western financial signature, the 11th house capital engine, primary wealth channel, the 11th house Pisces stellium, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Uranus. Wealth archetype, collective vision capitalization. Mechanism, wealth flows through networks, friendships, collective projects. Financial vehicle, group investments, crowdfunding, social impact ventures. Secondary wealth channel, Pluto in Sagittarius, 8th house. Wealth archetype, philosophical transformation capital. Mechanism, inheritance, investments, psychological value arbitrage. Financial vehicle, long-term growth stocks, inheritance planning, value investing. Sidereal financial signature, the Dana Yoga matrix. Primary Dana Yoga, Venus, Lagna Lord in 11th house Aquarius, Vedic wealth type, Labhesh, gains through innovation. Specific yoga, Lakshmi Yoga modified, wealth through unconventional means. Activation when Jupiter transits 11th or aspects Venus. Secondary Dana Yoga, Saturn in 2nd house Gemini with Nishabanga, Vedic wealth type, Vita, sustained wealth through communication. Specific yoga, Shastra Yoga, wealth after struggle through persistence. Activation, Saturn Mahadasha periods until 2031 for foundation building. Cross-system synthesis, Western, social capital to financial capital, Vedic, innovative service, 11th house to sustained wealth, 2nd house. Unified principle, wealth emerges from transforming collective visions into communicable systems. Module 2, wealth timing mastery. Cyclical capital accumulation protocols. Western timing system. Jupiter return cycles, 12-year wealth windows. 2027 Jupiter return in Taurus, 2nd house. Financial action, major wealth structure initiation. Strategy, begin long-term investment portfolio. Specific, real estate or stable value assets. 2039 Jupiter return in Cancer, 4th house. Financial action, property, real estate wealth expansion. Strategy, upgrade primary residence or investment properties. Saturn return cycles, 29.5-year restructuring, 2031 Saturn return in Cancer, 3rd house. Financial action, communication-based wealth system overhaul. Strategy, monetized teaching, writing systems develop in 20s, 30s. Uranus opposition, age 38 through 42. 2030s, Uranus and Gemini opposing natal Saturn, financial action, sudden liberation from limiting money beliefs, strategy, implement innovative income streams. Sidereal timing system, Dasha sequence, wealth planning. Saturn Mahadasha, current 2031 foundation phase, focus, skill development, debt reduction, system building, wealth vehicle, education, certification, communication tools. Mercury Antardasha, 2026 through 2029, communication wealth. Focus, launch teaching, consulting business, optimal, begin Q2 2026, Jupiter in Aries, Jupiter Mahadasha 2031 through 2047, expansion phase, focus, scale businesses, international expansion, wealth vehicle, publishing, teaching institutions, transits to wealth houses, Jupiter in second house, Vedic every 12 years, wealth doubling opportunities, Saturn in 11th house every 29 years, social capital consolidation, Rahu in 12th house, research-based wealth, current period. Module 3, asset class allocation, astrologically optimized portfolio architecture. Western allocation matrix, Pisces Aquarius assets, 11th, 10th houses, 40% of portfolio. Technology ETFs, Uranus influence. Water recycling companies, Pisces. Collective investment vehicles, REITs, mutual funds. Spiritual wellness industry stocks. Sagittarius assets, 8th, 9th houses, 30% of portfolio. International, global funds, Sagittarius, education, philosophy companies, growth stocks with ethical frameworks, publishing, legal firms. Capricorn assets, 10th house, 20% of portfolio. Blue chip stocks, Saturn ruled, infrastructure companies, government bonds, real estate investment trusts. Taurus assets, second house, 10% of portfolio. Precious metals, gold specifically. Agricultural, land investments, art, beauty industry, stable dividend stocks. Sidereal allocation matrix based on Graha wealth significations. Venus, wealth Karaka, 35% in art, beauty, luxury, relationship sectors. Jupiter, growth Karaka, 25% in education, philosophy, foreign markets. Mercury, business Karaka, 20% in technology, communication, trading. Moon, emotional security, 15% in real estate, home, nurturing businesses. Sun, authority, 5% in government, leadership, gold. Specific Vedic investments, Jupiter periods expand into teaching, coaching businesses. Venus periods invest in aesthetic, relationship-based ventures. Mercury periods focus on trading, writing, communication tools. Saturn periods buy real estate, structured investments. Module 4, Debt and Leverage Strategy, Karmic Credit Management, Western Protocol based on Pluto, 8th house, and Saturn, 3rd house. Optimal debt ratio, 30% of net worth, Saturn discipline. Good debt, education, 3rd house. Business expansion, 11th house. Bad debt, consumer spending, emotional purchases, Moon square Mars. Leverage windows during Jupiter transits to 2nd, 8th houses. Debt reduction during Saturn transits to 2nd house. Specific strategy, use debt only for income-producing assets. Leverage during 2027 through 2029, Jupiter and Taurus 2nd house. Reduce leverage 2030 through 2032, Saturn in Aries 12th house. Sidereal protocol, based on Shani, Saturn in 2nd house. Debt karma, past life debts being cleared. Strategy, systematic repayment during Saturn dasha. Sacred number, 29, Saturn cycle. Pay extra 29% on debts. Wealth clearing ritual, Saturdays, review finances. Shani remedies for wealth. Donate black sesame seeds Saturdays. Serve elders, authority figures. Structure all financial agreements. Module 5, Income Stream Architecture, Multiple Revenue Flow Design, Western Income Model, Primary Stream, Sun and Pisces, 11th House. Format, Group Programs, Membership, Communities. Timing, Launch during Sun, Trine, Jupiter aspects. Price point, $111 per month or $1,111 per year. 11th House Resonance. A lot of ones. Secondary stream, Mercury and Pisces, 11th house. Format, digital products, courses, writing. Timing, Mercury direct periods. Price point, $333 or multiples, Mercury number. Tertiary stream, Mars in Capricorn, 9th house. Format, consulting, system implementation. Timing, Mars trine Jupiter, Saturn. Price points, $999 per session. Or, again, $9,999 per project. Residual stream, Pluto in Sagittarius, 8th house. Format, royalties, investments, inheritance. Timing, Pluto transits to money houses. Automation set to compound automatically. Sidereal income model based on Bava lordships. Second Lord Mercury in 11th, wealth through groups, innovation, business, technology, consulting for spiritual communities. Pricing, use Mercury numbers 5, 14, 23, 32. 11th Lord Saturn in 2nd, gains through communication mastery, business, teaching systems, writing, speaking. Pricing, use Saturn numbers. Excuse me. Wow. I feel like that testosterone messed up my voice so bad. It's insane. It's going to take me a while to get back to where I was, and hopefully I can. But, anyways, the pricing, use Saturn numbers 8, 17, 26, 35. Dana Karaka Venus in 11th. Luxury beauty services for groups, business, aesthetic consulting for wellness centers. Pricing, use Venus numbers 6, 15, 24, 33. Optimal pricing strategy, base prices on planetary numbers, raise prices during favorable transits, offer discounts during challenging periods as karma clearing. Module 6, Risk Management and Insurance, Celestial Protection Protocols, Western Risk Matrix. Identified vulnerabilities, Moon square Mars, 6th house through the 9th house. Impulsive work decisions. Insurance, business interruption insurance. Practice, 48-hour cooling period for expenditures lesser than $5,000. I'm very tired. I'm at greater than $5,000. I also have a fucking learning disability. I'm autistic as fuck. Math isn't my strong suit, but astrology is. Mercury square Pluto, 11th house and 8th house, over research leading to missed opportunities. Insurance, deadline-based decision protocols. Practice, set research time limits. Saturn retrograde in 3rd, communication breakdowns. Insurance, professional liability insurance. Practice all agreements in writing. Astrological insurance policy. Never invest during Mercury retrograde and Mars hard aspects. Never sign contracts during void of course moon. Emergency fund, 29 months of expenses, Saturn cycle. Insurance review every Jupiter return, 12 years. Sidereal risk management based on Arishta affliction analysis. Debilitated Saturn in 2nd, early financial struggles. Remedy, donate to elder care every Saturday. Practice, maintain 6-month cash reserve minimum. 8th house moon, emotional investment risks. Remedy, chant Chandra mantra on Mondays. Practice separate emotional decisions from investment decisions. Rahu in 12th, hidden losses. Remedy, donate blue items Fridays. Practice full transparency in all financial dealings. Vedic protection measures. Wealth yantra, install Sri yantra in office. Daily practice, chant Lakshmi mantra during Venus Hora. Annual cleansing, perform financial puja during Diwali. Module 7, Retirement and Legacy Planning, Multi-Generational Wealth Transmission, Western Legacy Architecture, based on Pluto 8th and Neptune 10th, retirement age 72, Jupiter 6th house, service continues, retirement vehicle, self-directed IRA with ethical investments, withdrawal strategy 4% rule, adjusted for Jupiter transits, legacy structure, charitable remainder trust, 11th house purpose, specific timeline, age 55 through 65, maximum accumulation phase during Jupiter Mahadasha, age 65 through 72, transition to teaching, mentoring, age 72 and beyond, philanthropic focus, legacy projects, sidereal legacy planning based on Vimshottari Dasha, Jupiter period 2031 through 2047, wealth accumulation. Saturn period 2047 through 2066, wealth preservation. Mercury period 2066 through 2083, wealth distribution. Dharmic wealth transmission, ancestral clearing, pay ancestral debts during Pitru Paksha. Generational planning, teach financial wisdom to younger family. Final distribution, 70% to family, 20% to community, 10% to spiritual causes. Specific Vedic practices: create family wealth manual, establish family foundation during Jupiter Dasha, perform annual wealth gratitude rituals. Module 8, Wealth Consciousness Programming, Psychological Wealth Architecture, Western Money Psychology, Reprogramming based on chart patterns, Sun-Uranus conjunction, Innovate Self-Worth Concept, Affirmation, my value increases through unique contribution, Moon in Libra 6th, Western, Balance Work and Worth, Practice Charge for all work, no free consultations, which I am doing currently because I'm building an audience. Venus in Pisces 11th, receive from the collective, meditation, visualize wealth flowing through networks, daily wealth practices, morning, review investments during Mercury hour, noon, network outreach during Sun hour, evening, gratitude practice during Venus hour. Sidereal wealth consciousness, based on Chandra, Moon in 8th house, transformation required from scarcity to abundance through research. Mantra, Om Shrim Mahalakshmiya Swahaya, 108 times daily. Yantra, worship Sri Yantra for wealth consciousness. Nakshatra-based wealth activation. Kritika ascendant, wealth through pioneering effort. Hasta moon, wealth through skill mastery. Pravapada sun, wealth through spiritual service. Vedic daily practice, sunrise, chant Surya mantra for wealth energy. Noon, review finances during Jupiter aura. Sunset, chant Lakshmi mantra with gratitude. Synthesis, the complete wealth operating system installation protocol. Months 1 through 3, the foundation, complete financial natal analysis, both systems. Set up astrologically aligned bank accounts, create wealth calendar with auspicious dates. Months 4 through 6, implementation, launch first income stream, begin investment portfolio, establish debt management system. Months 7 through 12, optimization, add second income stream, refine investment allocations, implement tax optimization strategies. Years 2 and beyond, mastery, scale income streams, add leverage strategically, begin legacy planning, monitoring system, quarterly review during cardinal signs, annual overhaul during birthday month, February, 12-year review during Jupiter returns. It's really funny because Mercury's going retrograde next month on my birthday, February 26, 2026. And yeah, we'll see what's going to happen to me. Mastery certification criteria, technical mastery, ability to calculate wealth periods in both systems, practical implementation, 3 or more income streams generating consistent revenue, risk management, survive one major economic cycle without significant loss, legacy creation, establish wealth transmission system for next generation, consciousness integration, wealth serves dharma and spiritual growth. Conclusion, this curriculum transforms astrology from predictive art to wealth engineering science. The natives chart reveals not just wealth potential, but specific wealth mechanics that can be trained, implemented, and mastered. Final wealth mantra, Taurus grounds it, Aquarius innovates it, Virgo systems it, Jupiter expands it, Saturn sustains it. The stars provide the blueprint, discipline builds the structure. Consciousness fills it with meaning. The Institute certifies this wealth operating system. Begin installation immediately. So we'll also do one more here. I don't know if I want to get into this, actually. Maybe a different video. I'll just have that be its own video. So this is, and I like to give you guys vocabularies as well. Another thing I don't really see a lot of astrologers doing, or really being innovative about it. I'm here to do something different. I have a shit ton of Pisces placements. I've been here before. And what I mean by that is I've reincarnated multiple times before. I've died 1,000 ways. I've died 1,000,000 ways, to quote Clarence Clarity, a lyric from the song by Clarence Clarity, Alive in the Septic Tank. And if you don't know Clarence Clarity, he's a great musician. Shout out to Clarence Clarity. One of the best songs I've ever listened to in my entire life is Bipolar Rainbows by Clarence Clarity, and also With No Fear by Clarence Clarity. Anyways, the Genius Core Lexicon Division. A through Z Vocabulary of 23rd Century Astrology. Volume 1, Foundational Terms for Cosmic Consciousness Navigation. Classification, Omega Level, Lexical Innovation. Authorization, Council of Semantic Architects. Date, Galactic Standard, 2200, 1225. Security Level, Cosmic Linguist, Clearance Required. I think the astrology community needed me for a long time, but unfortunately I wasn't born until 2005. And I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit that has distracted me from my life's purpose until now. And luckily, I only turned 21 next month. I'm very young. So let's start with letter A. Archetypal weather. The shifting patterns of planetary transits experienced not as events, but as atmospheric conditions for consciousness growth. Astrobiome, the complete ecosystem of celestial influences operating within an individual's consciousness field, including microbial-level planetary resonances. Aspect ecology, the study of how planetary relationships function as interdependent systems within the psyche, rather than isolated angular measurements. Axiological axes, the Venus-Jupiter opposition complementarity in a chart, representing the tension between values, Venus, and meaning, Jupiter. Anachronic resonance, the phenomenon where past, present, and future chart configurations temporarily align, creating time windows for karmic resolution. Auroric consciousness, a state of awareness achieved when the sun is within 1 degree of the ascendant at dawn, granting temporary access to pre-incarnational memories. B. Biocelestial interface, the meeting point between biological rhythms and celestial cycles, where circadian and circulunar patterns intersect with planetary transits. Birth field, the multidimensional probability space surrounding a birth moment containing all potential chart variations within quantum uncertainty limits. Bardo transit, a planetary movement through the 12th house or Pisces that facilitates access to liminal states between incarnations. Biophotic signature, the unique light frequency pattern emitted by an individual's quantum field when specific planetary alignments activate their chart. Bifurcation point, a precise astrological moment where consciousness must choose between evolutionary paths marked by exact midpoints of outer planet aspects. You have C for chronotexturing, the process by which repeated transit patterns create psychological and karmic grooves in the soul's timeline. Consciousness topography, the three-dimensional mapping of a natal chart as a landscape of awareness with planets as peaks and valleys of attention. Crystalline aspect grid, a new aspect system based on sacred geometry and crystal lattice structures, revealing quantum entanglement patterns between planets. Cosmic dialect, the unique language formed by the specific combination of signs, houses, and aspects in an individual's chart. Cephalo-celestial gateway, the interface between brain hemisphere dominance and planetary rulership patterns, determining cognitive processing styles. D for dimensional anchoring, the process of grounding multidimensional chart information into practical life choices and actions. Dreamtime coordinates, specific planetary positions that, when activated by transit, facilitate access to ancestral and collective unconscious material. Diurnal resonance field, the sphere of influence created by the sun's daily movement through house cusps, affecting consciousness in 13-minute increments. DNA constellation, the mapping of specific genetic markers to fixed star and planetary positions at conception. Dichronia, the experience of planetary time, transits moving at a different pace than psychological time, creating time sickness or prophetic awareness. E. Eco-archetypal matrix, the system connecting planetary positions to ecological consciousness and environmental relationship patterns. Embodied ephemeris, the practice of physically experiencing planetary movements through somatic awareness and movement practices. Eschatological axes, the Pluto, Charon, Sedna alignment in evolutionary charts indicating soul purpose across multiple lifetimes. Exoplanetary imprint, the influence of confirmed exoplanets on human consciousness, mapped through their discovery charts and orbital resonance with our solar system. Energetic morphology, the study of how planetary configurations create specific energy field shapes around individuals and collectives. F for fractal horoscope, a birth chart analysis that reveals self-similar patterns repeating across different timescales, daily, yearly, lifetime, soul age. Fermionic aspects, planetary relationships that obey quantum exclusion principles, creating clear boundaries and distinct identities. Field consciousness, a state where individual charts temporarily merge during group transits, creating collective intelligence moments. Fugue transit, a planetary movement that temporarily disorganizes the chart's usual patterns, forcing innovative consciousness reorganization. Fulcrum degree, any planet at 15 degrees of a cardinal sign acting as a leverage point for consciousness transformation. Letter G for galactic chakra system, the correlation between the 7 traditional chakras and specific star clusters, with 3 additional transpersonal chakras connecting to galactic center. Genetic ephemeris, a timeline of celestial events encoded in DNA, accessible during specific transit activations. Geomantic celestigraphy, the art of reading earthly patterns, crop circles, ley lines, geological formations as expressions of celestial configurations. Gravito-conscious waves, the theorized mechanism by which planetary gravity influences consciousness through quantum entanglement at the microtubule level. H for holographic house system, a house division method where each house contains the entire chart's information in holographic form. Heliospheric weather, the influence of solar wind and coronal mass ejections on the interpretation of sun-related transits. Harmonic chromatics, the study of planetary aspects as color frequencies in the ultraviolet and infrared spectrums visible to heighten consciousness. Hominid astrogenesis, the theory that specific planetary alignments catalyze leaps in human evolution and consciousness. I for interdimensional aspects, planetary relationships that operate across parallel timelines and probable realities. Inverse transits, the study of how our planetary positions appear from the perspective of other celestial bodies. For example, Earth transit from Mars' perspective. Ionospheric memory, the hypothesis that Earth's ionosphere stores astrological patterns that can be accessed during specific geomagnetic conditions. Integral cosmogram, a chart synthesis method that incorporates developmental psychology stages, spiral dynamics, and planetary cycles. J for Jovian consciousness, the specific quality of awareness associated with Jupiter transits and progressions, characterized by meaning-making and horizon expansion. Juncture points, moments when personal transits align with historical cycles, creating portals for collective healing or transformation. Jhana aspects, planetary configurations that naturally facilitate deep meditative states and altered consciousness. K for kareological time, sacred or opportune time as measured by planetary cycles, distinct from chronological clock time. Kinesthetic ephemeris, the embodied knowing of planetary movements through physical sensation rather than intellectual calculation. Karmic isotope, a planetary configuration that decays at a predictable rate across incarnations, revealing soul age and evolutionary progress. Koinospheric field, the shared astrological atmosphere of a location affecting all charts cast for that place. L for Lyman degrees, the critical 0, 13, and 26 degree points in any sign representing thresholds between different consciousness states. Lunation morphology, the study of how the moon's phase at birth shapes the fundamental structure of consciousness. Light language, the theory that planetary configurations create specific patterns in the electromagnetic spectrum that can be read as a cosmic language. Logos axis, the Mercury-Saturn relationship in a chart representing the intersection of communication and structure. M for morphic celestial fields, planetary patterns that resonate with Rupert Sheldrake's morphic resonance theory, creating inherited collective tendencies. Multispectral chart reading, the simultaneous interpretation of a chart through multiple frequency bands, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical. Metachronic analysis, the comparison of charts from different time periods to identify eternal archetypal patterns. Mycelial aspects, planetary connections that function like fungal networks, creating subconscious communication channels between seemingly unrelated chart elements. N. Noospheric nodes, points in the chart that connect to collective human consciousness activated during mass meditation or global events. Neuro-celestial interface, the mapping of brainwave patterns to planetary movements and aspects. N-dimensional astrology, the practice of interpreting charts in more than the traditional 4 dimensions, space and time. Numinous degrees, zodiac positions that consistently produce mystical or transcendent experiences across many charts. O for ontological houses, a house system based on philosophical categories of being rather than life areas. Orbital consciousness, the awareness of our solar system's movement through the galaxy as a factor in chart interpretation. Ouroboros transits, planetary cycles that complete and begin simultaneously, creating eternal return moments. Omnilocal charting, the ability to cast accurate charts for any point in space-time, including past and future locations. P for paleocosmic imprint, celestial patterns from ancient eras that continue to influence modern consciousness through morphological resonance. Polychronic progressions, multiple progression systems running simultaneously, each tracking a different dimension of soul evolution. Psychogeographic astrology, the study of how location affects chart interpretation through telluric energies and cultural morphic fields. Plenum theory, the concept that empty space in a chart, unoccupied signs and houses, contains latent potentials activated by transit. Q for quantum natal, the understanding that birth charts exist in superposition until observed, interpreted with multiple potential expressions. Quaternion aspects for planet configurations that create stable consciousness structures resistant to transit disruption. Qualia signatures, the unique subjective experiences associated with specific planetary configurations. Quiescent planets, the practice of interpreting retrograde or slow-moving planets as sources of inner wisdom rather than obstruction. Letter R for resonance chronology, a timeline of when planetary aspects will be most strongly felt based on orbital harmonics rather than exact aspect dates. Retrograde consciousness, the specific quality of awareness accessible when multiple planets are retrograde, favoring introspection over action. Ritual geometry, the use of sacred geometric forms to represent and work with planetary configurations. Recursive horoscopy, the practice of reading charts within charts, solar return within natal, progressed within solar return, etc., to infinite depth. S for sidereal biological clock, the theory that human biology is timed to sidereal, star-based rather than tropical cycles. Spectrographic aspects, planetary relationships analyzed through the metaphor of light, spectrums rather than geometric angles. Synaptic astrology, the correlation between neural pathways and planetary patterns in the birth chart. Soul constellation, the fixed star and deep space object alignments at birth that indicate soul origin and purpose. T for tachyon transits, the hypothetical influence of faster-than-light particles on consciousness during specific planetary alignments. Talismanic images, the practice of creating composite archetypal images from planetary combinations for magical and therapeutic work. Your girl's getting pretty sleepy, so after this, I'm about to crash out. Temporal topology, the study of how time bends and folds around significant astrological events. Transdimensional aspects, planetary relationships that connect different planes of existence, physical, astral, mental, etc. U for ubiquitous houses, a house system where each house contains influences from all 12 signs simultaneously. Umbra, penumbra, degrees, the 5 degrees before and after exact aspects representing the shadow and partial illumination phases of planetary influence. Unitive aspects, planetary configurations that facilitate experiences of cosmic unity or non-dual awareness. Ouroboros year, the 25,920-year precessional cycle, experienced as a complete life cycle of the cosmic human. V for vernal point consciousness, the quality of awareness associated with the Aries point, 0 degrees Aries, representing pure initiative and beginning energy. Vibratory signatures, the unique frequency patterns emitted by different planetary configurations, detectable by sensitive instruments. Void course as portal, reinterpretation of void of course moon periods as opportunities for quantum leaps rather than restrictions. Vortex houses, houses reinterpreted as energy vortices with specific spin directions and velocities. W for waveform astrology, the interpretation of planetary movements as intersecting waves, creating interference patterns in consciousness. Wormhole aspects, specific degree relationships that allow instantaneous travel between seemingly distant chart areas. World soul mapping, the correlation of individual charts with the anima mundi or planetary consciousness. Wandering Stars Revisited, new interpretations of the traditional 7 planets, Sun through Saturn, as the core identity structure, with outer planets as evolutionary catalysts. X for xenoastrology, the study of how non-human consciousness, animals, plants, AI, extraterrestrials, experiences celestial patterns. X-ray aspects, planetary configurations that reveal hidden or unconscious material when activated. Xenogenesis points, chart positions indicating potential for radical evolutionary jumps or speciation events. Xylomorphic charts, tree-like representations of astrological information with branches for different timescales and dimensions. Y for year-body correlation, the mapping of the 365-day solar cycle onto the human body, with each degree of the zodiac corresponding to specific anatomical features. Yugas and planets, the correlation of Hindu world ages, Yugas with the visibility and prominence of specific planets. Yin-Yang zodiac, a zodiac system where each sign has both yin and yang expressions depending on planetary occupancy and aspect. Yield points, specific transit configurations where resistance becomes surrender and new growth becomes possible. Z for zodiacal ecosystem, the concept of the zodiac as a complete living system rather than 12 separate signs. 0 point chart, a hypothetical birth chart for the moment of cosmic creation, used as reference for all subsequent charts. Ziggurat houses, a house system structured like Mesopotamian temples, with each house built upon the foundations of the previous ones. Zenith nadir axis consciousness, the vertical dimension of chart interpretation connecting personal purpose, MC, with collective roots, IC. Zodiac astrology, the study of how celestial patterns influence the vital life force in all organisms. Appendix usage protocols. For beginners, start by selecting 3 terms that resonate with you. Meditate on their meanings for 1 lunar cycle. Notice how these concepts begin to appear in your chart reading practice. Gradually incorporate additional terms as your understanding deepens. For advanced practitioners, create new compound terms by combining elements from this lexicon. For example, biocelestial chronotexturing or quantum fractal horoscopy. Test these new concepts in your practice and document results. Innovation challenge. Each practitioner is encouraged to add 1 original term per year to this living lexicon. Submit innovations to the Genius Core Lexical Innovation Committee for inclusion in future editions. Epilogue, the living language of the cosmos. This lexicon represents not a fixed vocabulary, but a living conversation with cosmic intelligence. Each term is a doorway, an invitation to perceive astrology not as a system of categorization, but as an evolving language through which the universe describes itself to conscious beings. The true test of these terms isn't their intellectual complexity, but It's in their ability to deepen compassion, expand awareness, facilitate healing, accelerate evolution, connect us to the living cosmos. Remember, we aren't just learning astrology, we are remembering the celestial language we spoke before we were even born. That is the end of the lexicon, and in the next volume, next video, we'll talk about the syntax of stars, grammatical structures of cosmic communication. Thank you for watching all the way until 3 a.m. Stay baked, stay zooted, stay activated.